Yeah, hi. Good evening, everyone. Ma'am, you can start the session.
Okay. So has everyone joined? Nikita, we've got very less students today. That's okay.
So we will wait in next 5 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so should we do a quick recap of what we did yesterday, everyone? While we are waiting for other students to join, should we just do a quick recap of the data validation we did yesterday? Or do you want us to wait? Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to showcase very quickly what we did yesterday, okay? That is all I'm going to showcase, right? So let me share my screen. So you can see that I'm going to go to this Excel. Okay. You remember we created this Excel sheet, right? So we go to data, or let's create another new file only. I'm just going to quickly show what we did yesterday, right? So select a blank file. Now we go to data. We go to get data. Now we are going to do, we have two CSV files. I have shared all these files again today so that there is no confusion. Okay. So I'm doing all this in Windows 11 only. Okay. So the first file we are going to take is sales. So the reason why we are doing this again and again is that tomorrow you should be doing this very fast, right? So I'm just asking you guys to observe. You can see that this is the file we had yesterday also, you can see, right? Now we are simply going to not press load. If you press load, automatically it's going to open. We are going to do transform data. Okay. Yeah, Dipti, Nikita, can you basically put all the files on LMS? You have done that?
Yeah, I will check with Suchmita once.
No, no, I need you to put it on that LMS if you can.
Okay.
I have sent you 4 files, right?
Ha ha ha.
Okay, so guys, some of you want these files once more, so I'm gonna share it once more. I think not so many times you shared it. So this is the first file which we have just opened, okay? So I'm gonna share the second file. This is where I did wrong yesterday. So I hopefully I'm going to share the correct file today. Unfortunately, I have got so many files the same way. Okay. So you can see that this is the sales file, right? So let's do all the transformation before we load the second file. Okay. So what are the things we did? We go here, we go to home. Now we are going to say, go to remove rows and we say remove duplicates. Okay. Then we don't do anything with order dates. because it is correct. We don't see much. So how do you know whether things are fine? Just click on the drop down. You see there are only 2 data points, right? So this is fine. Okay. Similarly, you can look at the dates also. So many a times, if you find that there are going to be changes in the format of the dates and all, it will show here separately. Okay. So we don't find any issues here. Similarly, you can see here, these are anyways text fields. We cannot do much about it. Okay. Similarly, product number. Now we come to quantity. Now in quantity, basically, we go here. We are going to basically, we know that there is a, we can see, that it is definitely not 0. Okay. But in future also, we want it should be greater than 0. So we are actually going to be doing greater than or equal to, right? Okay. So 1. We want the values to be at least 1 or more, right? Quantity. So we just do that. You can see this is like a validation code. You can see we have done a filtering, right? Then discount. Now, again, you go and press this. You see 0 discount is fine here because there can be items which are 0, correct? Now just go below. You can see there are items more than 100. It is not possible for you to give a discount of more than 100, correct? That means that I am going to pay that person for buying my product. So we are going to filter these items. So you do this. So here we are going to put a less than filter. Okay. So this should be less than or equal to 100. And it should be greater than 0, correct? Okay. So you can see we have put all these filters. All right. So we have done our validation here. How many of you are following me? You can put a thumbs up or here so that we can go to the next file. Everyone following me? Anyone having any questions or query? Yeah. Yeah, admin, you want to say anything? Okay. I think she has put all the files. Okay, so let's go. Okay, now we are going to load the second file. How we will do that? You go to home here. You go to new source here. Okay, here you see there is a file. Again, go and press CSV file because the next file I have is also a CSV file, correct? Now I'm going to select our CSV file. Okay, so I'm going to import this file. You can see here, right? Now I say okay. Now in the CSV file, again, we have to do certain validations. So we're going to do that. Go to home. So here we should not have any. So this kind of table I told you is a lookup table or a master table, right? Whereas the sales, this table, this is a transaction table. Okay, that is the difference. So we come to this master table. Here it should definitely not have any duplicates on the product. So we are doing that. So we go here. Again, we are going to remove rows and remove duplicates. Okay. Then we come to product name. We cannot do much about it. Price, right? So here currently we see that the prices are all fine, correct? The lowest price is 4.99, right? So if at all there are items which are going to be 0, I'm going to replace it. Yesterday, I think we replaced it with 5.99. So let us do that. So if we have the price to be less than or equal to, sorry, not filtering, we are going to put a check. How will we do that? We have to replace it. So we go to transform. Okay. Then we basically, you can see here, replace values. Okay. You go to values. So if there is 0, Okay, we are going to replace it with 5.99. This is what we did yesterday. So I'm going to follow the same thing today. Okay. Now we can definitely filter items which are going to be less than 0. So let's do that. So we can put that filter also. Okay. So you can see this is all done now. Oh. So you can see some error is there. So I'm just removing it. Okay. So now we are done with everything that we wanted, correct? Now what we have to do, we have to now connect these two tables. Okay. So I go to the sales table. Now I go to add columns. You can see there is sorry, we go to home. Can you see merge queries? Okay. So you can press this. You can press either of this. So I'm pressing the first one, merge queries. Okay. So you can see the first table is here. I have to select the second table. Okay. Now you have to see which is the table which is having similar values. It's product number and here also product number. Okay. Now you can see what are the different kinds of, so you can see there is some security here. I'm giving it permission. Okay. Now it is asking that do you want to, for every row in first table, do you want to match the product number of the second table and append these contents in the first table? Yes, I want to do that. So I use this. Okay. Then I say okay. So you can see the table itself is inserted here. I press this. I basically only want the product price. So I do this. So you can see this I'm getting, right? Now I'm going to add a column because I want to add basically total amount, right? So we create a new column called total amount. So what is that? That is actually going to be quantity into price. Okay. So this minus, so we have some discount, right? So that is going to be 100 minus discount divided by 100. So this is not minus, it should be into, correct? Okay. So this is the formula we had entered yesterday also. So we've got something like this. How many of you are following what I'm saying? Everyone is following? Anyone having query? No, forget the formula. I'm going to share that file, that Excel file with you. Okay. This is what we have done. Okay. How many of you following what I have done? So formula is nothing but I'm just taking what is the total amount. Okay. It is quantity into price. Then I have to basically, so you can see that the formula has an error actually, correct? So let's remove it. I'm going to add it again. So let's add a column, custom, right? So I'm going to add it again. Total amount. Okay. So what is that? It is quantity into product price, right? Okay. But this is not going to be what I am going to, I also have discounts for every product, right? So what do? We have to multiply it with some number which is 100 minus the discount. So what I do, I put a formula for that, which is 100 minus this discount, okay, by 100, because it's percentage, correct? So this is the formula, you can see. I'm gonna put it here in your chat box if you want. This is the formula, okay. Then I say okay. You can see I'm getting this. So you can see it's 92 into 12, and then it is into 97.6. So you can do a quick check whether you get that or not. Okay. Everyone done? Following? Actually, I don't want you guys to do it. How many of you are not following? Everyone following? Yeah, admin, you are raising your hands. You have something to ask. Okay, cool. Then you basically, once you are done with everything, what we will do? We have to go to close and load. Okay. I'm not going to do it because I already have that file on me, right? Everyone following me? So basically, you will get this file which we had yesterday, correct? I'm going to share this file with you on the chat window so that everyone is on the same page. How many of you need some time before we start with this new file? Or shall we proceed? Shall we proceed, everyone? Okay, good, great. All right. So now let's go back. So what we are going to do? We are going to continue what we did. Okay. So this was the quick recap of what we did yesterday. Okay. Now what we have to reflect is when to use a left outer join. We have, if you see in the example, used a left outer join. What does that mean? It means for every row in the first table, I take the matching row from the second table and I add. Okay. A right outer join does the exact opposite. For every row in the second table, I take the matching row in the first table and I add. Okay. That is the right outer join. Is the difference between these two joins clear? Left outer join and right outer join? Yes? So in the left outer join, what Excel does or Power Query does, it reads every row. It is going to, suppose there are 5,000 rows in first table. Okay. For each of the 5,000 rows, it is going to match the row from the second table, and the matching row will be inserted in that row. That is left outer join. If you do this in the reverse manner, that is for the right table, every row, suppose the right table has got, let's say, 100 rows. The left table has got 5,000 rows. Okay. But I want to read for every row of these 100 rows, I am just matching the corresponding row from this 5,000 and I add. That is called as right outer join. Is this clear? Suppose we have the first table I had was the product table. Okay. And the second table I was doing transformation was the sales table. I will select right outer join. Is it clear? Everyone? Okay. What is full outer join? Full outer join is when all the rows of the first table, all the rows of the second table will be available in the final table. Okay. Suppose there are some rows which does not have a corresponding row matched in the second table. Okay. It will have blanks. Similarly, if there are rows in the second table which does not have any matching in the first table, it will have blanks. This is called as a full outer join. Is it clear? Are we clear? Left outer join, right outer join, full outer join. Okay. Where will we use full outer join, guys? Where can we use? Can you think of a scenario where we can use a full outer join? Any ideas? Are there any scenario? So when can we use full outer join? When you are having two lookup tables. Okay, I have one lookup table which has products. Okay, product details. I have the second lookup table with categories. Now what I have to do for every category, I have to match the product, right? I cannot leave any category. Similarly, for every product, I have to match each category. I cannot leave any product. Yes. In this case, I will use a full outer join. Is it clear? So consider, okay, consider this to be your product table. Okay. Consider this to be your category table. Okay. Now what I want a new table which is going to have every category. That if the category ID is available in the product, it should be joined, right? Similarly, there could be some products, if the category table has got some blanks. What will happen? For all the tables in products, all the categories will also be there, correct? So suppose there are 100 records in this, and let's say there are some 10 records in this, right? It is actually going to mix and it will basically give me the matching for all of them. Suppose there are some, let's say this is also 100, okay? But only 80 are matching. So there are 20 extra products which does not have categories, let's say, and there are 20 extra categories which does not have products. So the resulting table is going to have 120 rows. Is it clear, everyone? The concept of outer join, is it clear? Yes? Okay. Okay. So this is, so we have done this. We have done this. We have done this. What is the inner join? Anyone has an idea about what is the inner join? What is the inner join, guys? What is the concept of inner join? Yes, very good. Only those which are having matching. So in that particular example, no, we had 80 common categories and products. If I use an inner join, only 80 rows will be shown in the merged table. The 40 rows, 20 from products which are not matching and 20 from categories which are not matching will be left out. Okay. So that is called as an inner join. What is an anti-join? Anti-join is when there is, we will leave out all the products which are matching. We will only put those products which are not matching. So 20 products which does not have a category and 20 product categories which does not have a product will only be matched. That is called as an anti-join. Is it clear? Very good. Yes. So this is our recap. So today we are going to start with data analysis. So our goals is to basically do data analysis. We will do some basic functions. Then we will look at data types. We will understand errors. We will do data validation. Then we will do statistical functions and graphs. Okay. So these are some of the tables. So let's do practical examples. We know how to count records, count text. This is the formula. If you want total, you do sum. If you want average, you write average. If you want min, you use this. Max, you use that. Correct? So now let's try this in this Excel sheet. I have shared this Excel sheet. You can see on the chat box. Correct? You can see there are a number of things that we wanted to do. Right? So the first thing we wanted to do is we want to do a flagging. Correct? Okay. So let's do our count A and all before we do flagging. Okay. So suppose I want to understand total records. Okay. How do I know? So I do count. Okay. So what I will do, I will go and I do a count of E3 to E. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. Now let's count the text. You can see that it's not working because it was text. Correct? You can see. So so you can see this is the total records. Can you see what was the error which I did? So if you are going to use count, like I did, it has to be on a numeric field. Okay. So I have done it on quantity because it does not have a zero. Okay. Now suppose I want to count text. I want to know how many customers. Okay. So what I do a count A. You can see here. Now I will basically go to, you can see customer name is in column D. So I select the first one, D3 till D5000. Okay. So you can see there are 4,587 customers. Okay, we have done count and count A. Now let's do sum. So total orders. Okay. So what we will do? So we're gonna do a sum of, you can see I have a quantity, correct? So we can see it is F. So F3 to F5000. So you can see that this is the total number of orders. Okay. So what is the average order value? So I will do an average. Okay. So it is average. You can see I can do average. And we basically will do this J, right? So J J3, right? So J3 to J5000. So you can see that this is the average order value that I have got. Okay, clear? How many of you are following me? Is my screen visible to everyone? So they're very simple, right? We have put this on LMS also. We have also put it on this chat so that you can follow. Okay. So I've done an average. Now we want to know what is the maximum number ordered. What is the actual number of items in an order? And what is the minimum number of items in a minimum number of items in an order? Okay. So what we'll do, equal to max, and you, order is what? Quantity, right? So we have F3 to F5000. So you can see that there is one order which is having 109 items. That is the highest one. Now we want minimum. So that is again F3 to F5000. Okay. So there are the minimum number of items in an order is 1. Okay. How many of you are following till now? Anyone not following? Okay, so I'm going to tell it again because Sai Shinde wants to know again. So if you want to find total, you can see that I have to do sum on numeric field. So you can see that I've done it on quantity. So count F3 to F5000. I know the total number of records. Suppose I want to do a count based on the number of text items. I use count A. Okay, count A, and then I'm using it on D. I could have also done it on E. That will also work. So instead of A, I can do E also. Okay, you will get the same output. It should be on a text. Then total orders. So you can see I've taken a sum of the total number of orders, right? Then average number of orders. So you can see here, I have taken average on this because I wanted it on the total amount. Okay. Then maximum number of items. So I have done a maximum. Since it's item, I do it on quantity. Then minimum number of items, right? I do this. Okay. Now I want you guys to tell me what is the maximum price of an item and what is the minimum amount, billing amount of an order. Can you please give me the formula for this? You can put it on chat or you can use the mic. So what will be the formula for maximum price of an item? So what function I should use, guys? Which data? So the question is which data? Max of E. Max price of an item. What is the maximum price of the item in this particular order? Max H. Very good. Very good. That is correct. So to get the max price, I do max. Sorry, I have to do first equal. So you can see everyone can do errors, right? So now we do H3 to H5000. Okay. So you can see that the item which has the maximum price is 899 rupees. Okay, clear? Okay. What is the minimum billing price of an order? So we do min and then we select what? So which column it should be for min? Min billing amount will be from where? Which column? It is not H. It is J. Very good. Very good. So it is J. You can see this, right? So we take J3 to J5000. Okay, clear? Sorry, billing amount. Yeah. Clear, everyone? Very good. Okay. Now you remember we had some errors. So you remember I tried to do here instead of F, right? I was basically trying to do count, and I did some error which was I took E, right? So E3 to E5000 I was trying to do. Remember? Can you see that it is not counting anything? These are errors. Okay? These are called as errors. So sometimes whenever your formula is wrong, we get something called as errors. So let's understand what are the type of errors we can get. Okay? So these are the common type of errors. So either you would not get any value, you'll get 0. That's one common kind of error. Another error is value. So when you are trying to put a mathematical formula on a text field, you will get this error. Or it's a date field, I'm trying to do multiplication. You're going to get this value. This will be the error you will get. Okay. Suppose your formula, I'm doing a spelling error. For example, I am doing can you see? It's the formula itself. You can see I'm doing what? I just had a spelling error. So what happened when my spelling was wrong? You can see it is showing me an error, right? So whenever that happens, you will get this name error. Okay. When there is no data, nothing is returning. It is going to show NA. Clear? Yeah, I am going to show you to do validations on Excel. That's why I have taken all the count on that. Okay. So we will do validation now once more. Okay. So when there is no data, nothing is returning. Okay. The formula doesn't return anything. It will show a NA error. So whenever you are trying to do matching, you're trying to do searching, you're doing lookup and all, you will get this NA error. Okay. Suppose you are getting some number which is not valid. Okay. You're doing some addition operation and the value that is returned is E minus 5 or something. It will show an error. Okay. So these kind of things, it will show error. So that basically means that your logic is wrong. Something is wrong. You have to recheck it. Then finally, you will get div by 0, which is obvious. It is nothing but division by 0. Now let's understand why errors are important. Errors basically tell you that there is some logic or spelling or something that is not correct. That is all it means. So errors actually give you a chance to correct your logic or to make your Excel sheet better. So it does not signify that you don't know or it's a failure. Basically, it is Excel is telling you that something is wrong with the command you have entered. That's all it means. Okay. So this gives you an opportunity to correct your errors. So if you remember, I think most of you, probably some of you remember how you did coding in school or even in college. Some of you might be doing coding right now. So whenever you're writing a code in Python or Java or C or C++, you will first run the code, right? You will get a compiled code or an interpreted file, correct? So either of the file you will get. That particular file will have all the updates, whether every line is working or it is having errors, correct? In Excel, these error messages are available for every cell. So the first time you get an error message, that itself is a signal that you can correct it. Is it clear, everyone? Why errors are important and what you can do to fix it? Yes? Okay, clear? Okay. So generally what we do is we will actually write a function. We can use these functions to basically to correct the errors. Sometimes what happens is you might be doing some matching or you might be doing a find or search, right? But it is possible that the string that you have entered is not available in that particular cell. Then what we will do, we will use these kind of functions. So whenever there is an error, if error, then we basically will say return error, or you can change it from the system prompt to custom prompt. So we can use each of these functions. If error, if NA, if this number is blank. So we can use these and we can basically return a value which is different from the system value, so that your output is looking much better and it does not look like it is having an issue. Is it clear, everyone? Anyone not understanding this concept, let me know. Everyone has understood the error part of this? Anyone having any issues? Okay, fine. So let me hide this first column in that file. Now, yesterday, if you remember, we actually did our outlier flagging, correct? So I'm going to quickly show you what we did yesterday, so that that file is already done, so that you understand what we have done. Okay. So what we have done is we can get the first percentile. So this is the statistical formula. What it does is it takes all the data, it arranges it in ascending order. Now it is going to divide this data into 100 parts. So first percentile means all the values which are equal to or less than the first percentile value. Okay. That basically it is going to take an average of that and show. Similarly, fifth percentile. Similarly, 95th percentile, 99th percentile. Where have you heard these percentile numbers? Is there any examination where the result is shown in terms of percentile, guys? If you remember? Yes, CAT, not CAT exam. Actually, your IIT exams, if you have taken your JEE exams, your result is in percentiles, isn't it? Not mains. Your just JEE. That number is in percentile, correct? Similarly, your NEET also. Yeah? This is the logic they are saying. So we are not doing quartiles here because this is e-commerce data, correct? So in finance and e-commerce, we use this method only to flag the outliers. Okay. So what we are doing is, we have taken these values. So you can see that it is having only two values. What are these two values? First is you have to give the data which needs to be arranged in ascending order. Then we have to take the percentile value, right? So you have to first give the range of the array. You can see I have done some validation, right? Right. So I take this validation amount. So you can see that I have given this array and I'm giving the first percentile. That is first 1%. What is 1%? It is 1 by 100. So I am putting 0.01. So the second value maximum will be 1. Minimum value you can enter is 0.01. Okay. So the first percentile, you can see that I have given this particular array sorry, this particular column L, and you can see that I have basically entered 1% or 0.01. So similarly for fifth percentile, you can see the same logic. Similarly for the 95th percentile and the 99th percentile. You can see that? Yes. Okay, why yesterday I showed you using 5th percentile and 95th percentile, right? But generally in e-commerce or in finance, we will do using first percentile and the 99th percentile. So that is the logic we will use today. I have taken the first percentile, it is 7.99, 99th percentile, 8,464, right? So what we have done, we are flagging it. Okay. So how we are flagging it? You can see if my validated, so you can see that I'm using a if condition and an or condition. Okay. So let us first understand how an if condition works. Okay. So the if condition is similar to the if condition you use in a program. So it will say that if condition is met, then return first value, else return second value. This is the if condition in Excel. You can only have two conditions. Okay. So here you can see if this condition is met, right, I will return outlier. Otherwise, I will return normal. Is the if statement clear? Anyone who doesn't understand if statement, tell me. Everyone has got it? If everyone has got it, can you please send a thumbs up or something so that I understand that everyone has got it? Yes? Okay. So everyone has got it, I think, right? Anyone having errors, sorry, queries? Okay. Sarathi is not understood. So if condition basically means if the condition is met, where is the condition? So the condition is here. You write, this is the condition. You can see, no, this particular it is in blue color. This is called the condition. If this condition is yes, it will return the first value. If this condition is not met, it will return the second value. That's what the if condition means. Is it clear? I've explained it 2 times now. Everyone understood this? Yes. Then we have the or condition. So here, I know that if this condition is met or this condition is met, okay, I am going to basically say that this is an outlier. So if the value is less than my first percentile or the value is greater than the second 99th percentile, I will basically mark that file as an outlier. Every record which is having a validated amount to be less than 7.99 or greater than 8464, I am marking it as a outlier. Okay. So since there are two, you can see that there are two conditions. So there are 3 cases when this can be met. There can be, so either the value is greater than the 99 percentile or the value is less than the, right? So only either one of that can be true, right? So I am using the or condition. If I use the and condition, then both must be true, which is not possible here, right? Both cannot be true. Yes. Hence, we are using the AND condition. Sorry, OR condition. So either the value is less than the first percentile value or the value is greater than the 99th percentile value. Okay. So I'm using the OR condition. Is it clear, everyone? The logic for OR is clear. Anyone not understanding, please put it on chat so that I'll repeat it. Everyone has understood this? Okay, good. So if you have, see, you can see that I want to basically mark the record as a outlier if the value of the validated amount is less than 7.99 or it is greater than 8,464. So let's see, is that true? So you can see this. You can see this, right? All the files, all the records which are marked as outliers are either less than 7.99 or greater than some 8,400 and something, correct? 8,483. 82, right? These are marked as outliers. You can see this is the evidence to this. This is what I wanted to do, correct? So, how I will write this? This is how I write this. So, I am saying first if, so you can see this is called as a nested formula. So, inside the if formula, I have the OR formula. This OR formula is the condition. So, you can see I have condition number 1, which is this validated amount, the cell value is less than my first percentile value. You can see that the first percentile value is available in the cell number P2. I want to fix the value of this cell. So whenever you want to fix the cell, you have to use this dollar sign. $P$2 means I will always compare. You can see, right? L1, L3, L4, L5. There are so many different values. Every cell will be compared with P2 value, whether it is less than this value. So I am fixing it. Similarly, every cell will be compared with this value, which is P5 value. You can see that. Again, you can find that my P5 value is available here. So I have to fix P5. So that means $P, $5 I am going to put. Okay. So since neither of them are true, this is the condition. I put it in brackets with a comma and I have an OR condition. So this is my condition. I have written my OR condition. So if this OR condition, either of this is true, I am going to output the text value outlier. Otherwise, I will output the text value normal. Is it clear now? Everyone understood? Clear? Okay, so this is what we did yesterday. Is the flagging clear now? Everyone, how we have done the flag? Anyone having any questions? Because now we will go for a 10-minute break. Okay, so we're going to take a 10-minute break. So now it's 8 o'clock. We'll be back by 8:10. Okay. Anyone, is there anyone who has not followed what we did today till now? No, right? Okay. So we will take a break. Yeah, tell me, admin. Yeah, unmuted you, tell me.
Oh, ma'am.
Yeah,
Good evening, ma'am.
yeah, tell me.
Myself, Harshvardhan Raju. I am studying in Statistical College.
Mm.
As I have a problem in my Zoom app, so that I can't chat, madam. My chat box is showing as loading.
Mm-hmm. So can you see today after the session, try to update your Zoom and check it again, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay.
But I don't have laptop.
Okay. So where is the Zoom? It is on your tablet, is it? Or
Phone,
mobile?
ma'am.
Mobile.
Yes, mobile.
That's okay. So you just update your, so use the mobile, have your laptop side by side, okay? And what
Okay.
you can do is, you can basically use the LMS, download the files and work on the samples, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, the someone call admin, you want to say something? Admin. Okay, since nothing is happening right now, I'm gonna we are gonna take a 10-minute break. In case you have any queries, put it on chat, I will answer it, okay? Okay, everyone is back. Everyone is back. All right. Okay, so now we are going to learn certain intermediate formulas. For that, we need to understand data types. Okay. What are the data types which are allowed in Excel? I think most of the computer students here think that there is floating and everything here. We don't have those data types. We basically have category, that is text. Then we have whole number. We have decimal number. We have date, date time. We have Boolean. Okay. These are the basic data types that we have. Okay. So example for text is, we know na, name of the person, car, if you write anything, it can have numbers also, like ID. These are all called as text. You have whole numbers, like we had quantity. Okay. These are called as whole number. Then you have decimal. You can have how many decimal you want, like price, total amount. Then you have date. So date, ideally you have different dates which are available. So you have a month, day, year, okay. So that is like the Georgian calendar. You also have the American date system, which will have month, DD, YYYY. Okay, that is the American system. Basically, these are the most common system. Then you have Boolean. Boolean will basically have the values 1 and 0. So you have yes, no, 1, 0. Okay, these are the kind of Boolean values that you have. So when you have a if, so you have true, false, right? We had some logical operators of or and conditions and all, correct? So you have either one, that is it is true, or it is false, correct? So that is called as Boolean. So these are the basic data types. So let's understand what happens that when you are having the wrong data type. So you remember, we have spent 2 days basically with Power Query to do cleanups, isn't it? Why? Because Excel is like a garbage in, garbage out. You can write any formula, you can do anything. It will either show you error or it will show you some output, right? But it can be nonsense. Hence, when you have the wrong data type, suppose instead of having date, I'm using the text. Okay, I'm saving the date as a text. What happens? It will not be sorted in that order. When you try to sort it, it will only sort on the first digit. That's it. Suppose you have 1, 1. Okay, so you have, let's say, January to December, all the dates. When you try to sort it as a text, what happens? The first of every month will come first. Second date of every month will come second, like that. So it will become very, very tedious. So to avoid all this only, we did data validation where we corrected, you remember in Power Query, the data type, right? Then you have, if you have numbers as text, what will be the issue? When you have numbers as text, what will happen, guys? Nikita, there are some students who are asking for attendance. Can you please deal with these people? Because I don't know whether they have joined only for attendance or they are even listening.
I will share 8:30.
So there is this Tumala. There are a lot of them who not sure whether they are even listening. Okay. So when you have numbers as text, what will be the issue, guys? Can you do additions with text? Can you do subtraction with text? Can you do any kind of numerical operations? You cannot, right? That's the problem. Similarly, when you have categories as 1, 2, 3, what will happen? when you have categories as numbers, you cannot count it because 1 is already a number, right? It is, and it Excel will automatically consider it as a number. Okay, so it will not count. It will basically add. So if you have category 1 as a value, okay, 1, category 2 as 2, you cannot count 2. Okay, it will basically add the numbers. That is again an error. So this is a classic example of garbage in, garbage out. Because as humans, we understand that this is a label. Computers do not. Is it clear, everyone? SQL has got some more rigid. It is more rigid than this. SQL has much more rigid. So in SQL, you will basically have a little more data types and it's more rigid. Okay. To a certain level, out of all the SQLs, we can say this is similar to, actually, I can't even say MySQL because that is also a little better. Okay. Okay. So now you see this. Let's look at this. We have this, we had this data, no, in the first day. We have all these cities, Bangalore, Delhi, Delhi. Is it possible for me to calculate the average of this data? No, right? It will show an error. What error it will show? When you have different text values and you do average, will you show an error or it will show me a value? It will show an error, right? It's showing 0. Okay, fine. So you can see this is garbage, but Excel is not stopping you, correct? Okay. So now we have learned some basic functions. Let us learn now how to use a filter. Okay. So we are going to learn how to use a filter. How we can use a filter? You basically select all this data. Okay. Now you go to data. Okay, you go here to data. You can see there is a filter here. Already I have applied the filter, so it's not showing. Basically, whenever you have any kind of data, okay, suppose I'm having AA, PB, CC, DD, EE, okay. So I will select this data and I put a filter. You can see I get this, right? This is called as the filter. Okay. Why this is important? Because you can see that in filter, whenever you get the filter, you can see that I can do certain conditions here automatically. You can see this is a text flag, so it is showing me some text filter. Here again, it's showing me some number filter, right? It's automatically giving me certain conditions. So this filter is very, very important. So we have used this filter in Power Query also, if you remember. Yes? Okay, now let us understand how I can use this filter and do some functions. Okay, so for this, I'm going to, what we will do, so let's understand, let's do this from start. Okay, so let's take order number. Okay. So let's say I have order number. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to just put the filter and show it to you. Okay. So I am now going to put a filter. So you can see I will do this. So the easier thing is basically delete it. Okay, you select all these columns. Then you do a filter. Okay. So you can see there is a filter here. So there is some value. Okay, forget this. I've got some values here. You can see that. Okay. Now what we do, we are going to insert a row above. So our idea is that using this filter, no, I am going to do some calculations. So I'm just going to show this here. Just insert. So you can see I've inserted a row here. Okay. Now I am going to do calculations based on this filter, basically the flag. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I basically want to understand whether the values are changing when I select these values. Okay. So for that, we can use the same sum, count, right? Min, max, average, mean, everything. But we have to use what is called a subtotal. So you can see here, there's something called subtotal. Double click it. Okay. Here you can see if I put 1, it will give me average. If I put 2, it will give me count. 3, 4 means max. 5 means min, right? We'll just select it. So I can do average. Okay. Comma. Now I have to give the array reference, which is what? It is L4 to L5000. Okay. You can see that this is the average now. This is the total average. You can see that. For normal, outlier, everything is selected. It is giving me something like this, right? Now I change the flag here. I only want the normal files. Can you see the average has changed here automatically? How many of you have understood what has happened here? How many of you are following what has happened here? Yeah? Right? Similarly, let's do here. Remove this. Let's do the total quantity. Okay. So here we will do again subtotal. Now I want count, or sorry, I want sum, right? So I select sum, comma. Now I have to select that range, right? F4 to F5000. Okay. So totally there are 50,255 orders, correct? And the average amount of the orders is 611, you can see 0.11, 54, right? So 611 and 50 paisa, something like that, right? Now I remove this I remove the outlier. And you now see automatically it changes the now total number of orders has come down and the average value has also changed. Suppose I want to do the same thing here for average price. So can you see? You can see it is automatically copied whatever was here and it has changed the arrays. Can you see? Here the formula was with L, right? Here C it is with H. Can you see that? Automatically I've just copied it, it's coming. Suppose I want to only select outliers. Now do you see? There are only 3,838 order quantities. You can see the average price for these items is around 350 rupees. And the total amount is like 10,000. Sorry, the average bill amount is 10,432. Can you see that? Is the concept of subtotal clear to everyone? Is the concept clear? Yes? Anyone who's not understanding this? So whenever you are having this kind of filter, okay, and you want to find the sum, average, min, max, use subtotal, okay? Yes. Okay, clear? So how many of you are finding this valuable? How many of you are learning something? How many of you already know this? So people who are learning something, can you please put a thumbs up or something? Yeah? Okay? All right. Let's come to the next concept. So we had data types. Okay, now we will learn something called as custom data input method. So in Excel, it is possible for us to devise data in such a way that the person who's using this Excel will not do errors. So for example, instead of asking someone to just fill a data, I can create a form. Like I think most of you would have understood. You can create a form and give it to them. Similarly, in Excel also you can create some validations. So we are going to learn how to do data validation. Okay. So I'm going to show you a form which I created with data validation. You can see this form. Okay. So this was basically a simple format. Okay. Where you are going to, I'm going to share this with students. They're going to input values in this. Okay. How they will input? Basically, you can see, right? Can you see? It is saying that the data validation restrictions is not working here. Yes. So I cannot put numbers in student. It has to be a student name only. Okay. Similarly, you can see they can't enter any domain. They have to select from this list. Right? Okay. Similarly, here also I put a Boolean data as a list. Okay. Then similarly, date of submission. So let's say date of submission, I'm putting some value. Okay. Can you see? It is showing me some error. It is not taking any value, right? Similarly, I'm putting rating as 100. So we are going to do validations like this. Let's understand how to do validation. First is we are going to do validation for a text. How do we do that? We select the cell, we go to data. Can you see data validation? Select that. Now you go here and you basically select what? Text, right? So put text. So you can see this text. So I can say that the text, what should be the length of the text? Okay. I can say that the length of the text. So the name of the student can be 4 letters to maximum 35 letters. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Then I can say the input. Enter student name as it appears. Okay. Student name. So I can do that. Okay. So I can do this. Can you see this? So once I have given something like that, can you see it is showing me in comment exactly what needs to be entered? Can you see that? How many of you already knew how to do this? How many of you are finding this useful, guys? Yes? Okay. So This is the data validation for letters or text. Okay. So you can see this is less than 35 letters, so it's taking it. So you can see I put a special character, so it's taking it. Right? Clear, everyone? Yes? Clear? Okay. Now let's come to the second thing. We have got the list. How many of you are clear with how to do validation for text now? Okay. Now let's create a list. How do we create a list like this? Okay. So what we have to do, wherever I want to create, I'll go here. I go and press data validation. So here I go and I select the text. Sorry, list. Okay. And I have to select ignore blank and in cell drop down. So within the cell, this is going to be a drop down. And I will put the values I want. Okay. With a comma. Okay. Then I say okay. Now you can see. Now I can go and amend it also if you want. Yes. So we just do that and then we copy it. Is this clear? How to create a drop down in Excel? Is it clear? Yes or no? Can you see? If I try to enter something, it is saying error. So data validation, we have done lists, correct? Yes. Okay. Now let's do for dates. So how many of you are clear with the data validation for list, drop down list? Clear? Shall we move on? Okay. Now we will create data validation for date. Okay. So again, we select data validation. We go to settings. We have to select what date. Okay. So he's asking for between, not between, equal to. So let's put not between. So Saturday, Sunday, you cannot give presentation. Okay. So let's do that. So 31st January 2026. 1st February 2026. Yeah. So I'm gonna just put that it cannot be between this. So if someone is trying to put 31, 1, 2026, then see it's showing an error. There is no class tomorrow. We will meet on Monday next. Okay. Is it clear how to create this drop down for dates? Is it clear? How many of you are not following? Is there anyone who's not following? You can see it shows an error. Okay, clear? So we've done the data validation for dates. Now we will do the data validation for numbers. Okay, so here you can see I put 100, it shows me an error, right? So what else we going to do? We are going to do a data validation. Then we will go and select number. So rating is going to be a whole number. Okay. So it should be minimum is 1, maximum is 10. So it's a 10-point rating. Okay. So if you are putting anything like 2, it will accept. 20, it will not accept. Okay. So is the data validation for numbers clear? So is that data validation clear to everyone? We also, you can put a display like I did, we did, right? And we can also have a error message if you want. Okay. So yesterday also I told you home Bahamare, you cannot do all of this in numbers. You have to use MS Office only. Okay. Data validation, everyone is confident now. So is this clear? So we did all of this input messages, error warning, we did. Additionally, you can also you can do a instruction manual you can write. Like you can have the first page to be a header, title, and then you can write what needs to be done. Okay, you can do that also manually. Okay, now we come to descriptive statistics. So should we start with descriptive statistics now, or we should do it only on Monday, guys? I'm taking a vote because we still have time. Okay, we'll do it. Okay, great. So let's start with descriptive statistics. So a very simple mean, median, mode, range. Okay. Mean is same as average. Median. So you remember we took percentile. Suppose instead of taking the data, putting in ascending order and dividing it into 100 different parts, I divided into 2 parts. Okay. And the middle value is called as the median. Okay. So I take the data. Suppose I've got 100 data. I divided into 2 parts. So there is basically the first part has got 50 values, second part has got 50 values. So I take the 50th and the 51st value and I will take an average. Suppose I had 101 different values. I put it in ascending order. I divided into 2 parts. One will have 50 values. The other one will have 51 values. So the 51st value, we will take it as median. So it's the centermost data of the day of that particular column, which is put in ascending order. Is it clear? Median is clear. In quartile, what we will do, instead of dividing this data into 2 parts, we divide it into 4 parts. That is called as a quartile. Okay. Clear? And percentile is when you divide the data, generally we divide it into 10 parts. When you are looking at 100 percentile, 95th percentile and all, we divide it into 100 parts. Is it clear, everyone? Making sense? Okay. What is the mode? So suppose we are taking the data, we are putting it in ascending order, okay, and we are counting how many values are getting repeated. Okay. Suppose we find that there is one value which is getting repeated lot of times. Out of these 100 records, we find that there is one value or one person who's repeated 100 more than 10 times. Okay. That is called as the mode. So the formulas which are available on the screen are what you will put it in Excel with the equal to sign. So you put equal to average and you take the range of cells, it will give you a data. So let's try that. So you can see I have this data, right? So let's try this. Average. I have to select it, right? So that's what I'm doing. Can you see this is the average? Now let's do mode. So I want a single mode, not multiple. So again, I have to select this data. So you can see it's not available. Why it's not available? Mode should have categorical data. This is numerical data. You can see this is the error. That means not available. You can also see, actually, you can also see that there is nothing which is repeated 5-6 times, right? That's why it's not available. Let's change it. Can you now see? You can see now I have got a mode. My average has changed, right? Okay. Now we'll get a median. So now I'm going to do median and I select the value. So you can see that it is the 12th value. So total we have 27 values, right? How do I know it? Count the number of items. 27. So it is taking the middle. That is the 14th item. 13 items above, 13 items below. Okay, sorry. 12 items above, 12 items. So the 13th item has become my mode. Clear? So why are you giving me your email ID, Shivaji? Okay, similarly, we can do a min. We can do a max. So these are the basic functions. Is this clear to everyone? Okay. Now we have seen this formula. Everyone knows it. Okay. Suppose we have one column. Okay. Now it is possible for us to compare this data. Okay. I can compare mean, median, and mode. Okay. I can do that comparison. So whenever you find that the mean and median are very different, okay, we say that this data is either it is skewed towards the left side or the right side. If the mean is greater than the mode, we say that the data is right skewed. So not if the median is greater than the mean, we say that the data is right skewed. Okay, and vice versa. So is the understanding of skewness clear? Ideally, if your data is normal, your mean should be equal to your median. If they are not the same, then we say that this data is skewed. Okay. Suppose I have high mean and I have high standard deviation. We say that this data is not stable at all. Okay. The average is very high and the variation is also very high. Suppose I'm having, let's say, 10 data points. The average of this data is 1000. The variation is also 1000. What does that mean? It means that this data cannot be reliable at all. You have to recheck all the numbers. Clear? If the median is less than the mean, then it means there are a lot of outliers. Is this clear? If the median is less than the mean, that means there are a lot of outliers in the data. If the range is high and the variation is high, then the data is not consistent. So what does it mean? It means that we have data which is available over a huge spread. The minimum value is very low, maximum value is very high, and most of this data is not repeating. That's what it means. Okay. Why this is important? whenever you're looking at, like the salaries of people, the heights of people, the ages of people, you find that generally you find a lot of the data, almost 60 to 70% of the data will actually be in the middle. So even if you look at Indian population, whether it is in a city or in a household, you will find that there will be more people who are in the age of what, around 20 to 40 years, right? You will find a lot of people in the household in that age compared to people who are more than 70 or compared to people who are less than 10, correct? This is how households are. We are not looking at a hostel. We are not looking at anything. We are looking at a simple household, right? Okay. So when it is applicable for age, we find that similarly salaries. So you find that salaries, what is the average salary of India? So if I look at all the people, the average salary of India is around 8,000 rupees. So we are considering very poor, below poverty line, rich like Ambani, people who are middle class, everyone. The average salary of India is around 8,000 bucks. So you will, when you look at this data, you will find that it will be skewed, right? Why? Because population wise, there are more people who are poor than rich, correct? So it will be skewed. Yeah. So it will be a right skew. That means that there will be very less people who are earning very high. There will be more people who are earning 8,000 or below, correct? So these are certain things that you can understand when you basically see these descriptive statistics and you are able to compare them. So you can see that I was just telling you based on the averages, some characteristics of the data, which I can use in terms of validation, in terms of sampling. When I'm looking at data, I can use these and make some inferences out of it. Am I clear? Anyone having any questions? But salary will be only of one who are earning. So how does it matter, Om Bahakunen? I'm just looking at all the salaries of people in India. I can put the salary of people not earning a zero, no? So that will not disprove what I'm saying, correct? So I don't need data prediction and all. If I understand mean, median, mode, I can actually tell you more about the data without putting any algorithm. So knowing these basic statistics is the point that I am making. So if you tell me that, there is a poor man in my street is earning 1 lakh rupees, then I'll tell you that he is not poor. By Indian standards, he is not poor. Okay. That is what I'm trying to tell you. Because the average salary of India is only around 8,200 or something. Okay. So this is also important why you should look at statistics, which is available. It's collated and published by RBI, then some government labor statistics and all, it's available. If you go through all the data, you will understand a lot of these things. So how are we doing on time? It's around 8:50, correct? So shall we go on, move on? Should we do graphs in the next class or should we do it today only, guys? Shall we do graphs in the next class or should we do it today? We'll do it on Monday because graphs are lots. Okay. So we have some 8 to 9 types of graphs and we will think about how we can use it. Okay. Okay. So today we have covered a lot of things, correct? So I want you guys, I'm going to switch off my camera. We are going to do a small question and answer session. Okay. So you can put on chat in case you have any questions here other than attendance. Anyone having any questions, query? Are you thinking about how we can put what we have learned into your projects or maybe into something that you are doing? Okay. Okay. Anyone else having any questions, queries, doubts? Please put it here. So Namrata and others who want the PPT, I'll put it after Monday's class, because most of the things that we are doing are available in one PPT only, right? So we will finish the Monday's class, then I'll share the PPT. Okay. Any other question, query? Yeah. So it is very important for us to understand that if you have categorical data, we cannot calculate mean. We cannot do averages. We can only do counting. We can do only mode, and we can do count. Okay. If you have text data, I can only count the text, and I can basically do mode. I cannot do averages. Okay. If I'm having numeric data, whether whole data or I'm having decimal data, I can do averages, I can do standard deviation, I can do min, max, all of that. That is not possible in categorical data. Is it clear? This is very, very important, because when you are creating dashboards, we will sometimes try to do wrong things and we will get errors. So Prakash Naik, today again we have done Power Query, no? The first 20 minutes, I think I did Power Query. If you can see the recordings today, you can follow it. I think Nikita, are you there?
Yes.
I think there's a lot of query on LMS and attendance. Can you please clarify?
Please drop the mail on edl@xlr.com. I will provide you the link, LMS link. Students?
Nikita, they're also asking about attendance. Can you please drop the link now?
I will share it.
Okay, so how many of you want to know more about kurtosis, skewing, light skew, right, left skew, and all? Is that how many of you want? There's only one person who's asking these questions. Maybe we can cover it in Q&A in the next class, because we have not done the normal distribution curve, right? So if I simply draw and explain, many of you will not understand it. Macros, how many of you want to learn macros? Okay, so maybe we'll cover macros on Tuesday's class, okay? See, but this is actually not a macros class. This is for dashboard. Ideally, Tuesday will be our 7th class, right? So we should try to maybe cover some items, then we will do dashboards, okay? Any other query? So it is not possible to validate data in such a way that we avoid spelling mistakes. We are better that if you have something in mind, you can put it as a drop down, okay? If you want to avoid spelling mistake, the best thing is use a list. Okay, fine. So I think with this, we come to the end of today's class. Tomorrow there will be no class. We'll join on Monday. Okay. So on Monday, we will continue the statistics and we will try to learn VLOOKUP and pivot tables. Okay. All right. So if you're happy with the class, you can put thumbs up. Then we will end the session, guys. All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. So we'll wind up for the day. Thank you. Yeah, so dear students, as ma'am informed, we don't have a session by tomorrow and day after tomorrow. It's a weekend. So we were meeting again on Monday at 7 p.m. So I request please join the session on Monday, okay? Yeah, thank you all. Thank you for joining. Good night.